Hello, this is Dr. Suzanne Bechtel. I am providing you with some tutorial here on ALWD. And this is a how-to, or otherwise known as a tutorial, called Nailing Pinpoint Cites for Case Law.
When you give me the language from the case, you're going to finish it with the case citation. All right, so you're going to be using rule number 12 in ALWD for that citation. And I want to show you one thing. So remember how we have to include the pinpoint reference when we're narrowing down something? So here you're going to be using page numbers as your initial page, comma, space, pinpoint page. When we're talking about a case like this, you want to make sure, actually, I'm going to rephrase that real quick. You want to make sure you see this case citation that's up here. Okay, Westlaw is always wrong. Don't use that citation. The reason why is the Westlaw format for citations is completely different than ALWD and Blue Book. They have their own formulated citation. It's wrong. This is wrong on several things, okay? So make sure you're not copying and pasting this up at the top and thinking that's the correct citation, okay? For one, there's no underlining or italicizing, and it doesn't end with a period. Okay, and there might be some other differences. I want you to pull that information out, read through Rule 12, and make sure you've got all the correct components. But I just want to give you a refresher on initial pages and pinpoint pages, okay? So the initial page where this case can be found is page 35, which means if I pulled up the Florida Supreme Court Reporter and I pulled off book 61 from the shelf, within book 61, I'm going to turn to page 35, and that's where this first page of the case is going to be found. So I always have to include my initial page because I need my reader to know exactly where to find it. Now, when we're quoting something from the case, you have to remember to include the pinpoint reference, okay? So the pinpoint reference is going to be based off a page number. When it's an electronic case like this, let me see where it's at. We're starting on page 35, and anytime you see this little star, you're looking for the single star, not the double star. That means something else. So the single star tells me where the next page starts. So everything before this is page 35. Everything after that is page 36. All right, so because we are going to quote the Jenkins case, and it's located right here, we have to look for the page number where it starts and where it ends, okay? This one's a little easy because here it says page 40 starts after that quotation, which means page 39 is where this is located. So if you're looking for where page 39 starts, it's right here. Okay, so it's right between the two, but because it's on page 39, my pinpoint reference will be 39. So when you're looking at the formula for case citations, initial page is 35 because that's where the start of the case is. My golden nugget is on page 39. All right, so aim for those little single stars, okay? So same thing with Brennan. Let me go back up to the top. So Brennan starts on what page? Anybody want to guess?
244.
Yes, 244. So then my golden nugget is going to be, let's see on what page that is. What do you guys think?
246.
Yeah, 246, because here is my quotation and the page is 246. Now, you got to remember, so if something starts on page 35 and on my quotation, sorry, on my citation, I put page number 986. Is that possible? Well, technically it could. It'd be far-fetched. That's one very, very, very long case, okay? But 986 is at least a number after 35, okay? So if my case starts on page 35, can I have the quotation on page 12? No, because how can the quote come from before the start page of the case, okay? So you gotta always remember the page, the pinpoint is always going to be a number after the initial page. It can't be before, because then you're looking at the wrong case, okay? That's something that occasionally students get confused on. So the initial page is the start. The number has to be something after that, okay?